everyone, Joe here from ActionX. Welcome to What's in the Two. It's our show where we review things in the world of television, whether that is reviewing shows on an episode-by-episode basis, if they're on the air, reviewing shows on a season-by-season basis, if they have a lot to talk about, or we do these seasonal reviews where we talk about a show that just recently wrapped up and I kind of give a non-spoiler opinion about it. So if you want to know, was it worth the binge? Was it worth for me sitting through week to week with every episode? It is kind of like the question you want to ask, then there you go. Here it is. Today we're here to talk about The Rookie Feds Season 1. It just wrapped on ABC a couple of weeks ago. It feels like forever ago. It really does. I don't like it. But yeah, we reached the end of the hopeful first season of The Rookie Feds. I say hopeful first still after all this time because as of today, they still have not yet renewed Rookie Feds for Season 2. Not a bad thing, not a good thing, because majority of its slate has already been renewed, but they keep saying that we're gonna hold on it. We're gonna wait. But either way, it's parent show. The Rookie's already renewed for a new season, but it's gonna be hold till next year. So either way, the Rookie universe will not return till next year, but that's on the other platform. For now, we're just here to talk about Season 1 of The Rookie Feds, which, going into it, and this will kind of, coincidentally answer my first question, is it worth the binge? I went into this show, it being a spin-off. It's a spin-off, where it's like, you kind of have to have a little establishment, a little knowledge fact from the other show to understand what's going on a little bit in this show. Not really 100%. You can still jump into the show and mostly understand the premise of the show without it. It's more kind of like, The Rookie, except now we're in the FBI territory, while The Rookie is the LAPD territory, if that makes a little bit of sense. Where, for me, I never viewed The Rookie in general before this show happened as, this needs to have its own universe. I never did. I think the charm and the magic in The Rookie Prime is great enough that, I never really was clamoring for, we needed more. We needed to explore another avenue of this universe. We didn't really need to. And then they announced it. I was like, okay, I'll see what they got. Then they showed the backdoor pilot during Season 4. And I was, intrigued. I was like, okay, I can maybe sit a show. And not having finished the whole first season with what it had to show. I will say it is not The Rookie, which is a good thing. I don't think it's the pristine quality of the rookie itself. But then again, when The Rookie started out, even though it had that charm and that magic almost from the get-go, it's still not quite as comprehensible as it. I feel like, they definitely carried over a lot of elements that made The Rookie work, and they brought some flavors to their own pot. And as of right now, where I'm sitting in, it's a great show. It is great. I loved the characters. I loved the message they were trying to promote. This feels like a little bit more of we're taking more what's going on in today's environment and kind of establishing that more into Feds. Since for me, the theme of this show and this season is let's do something new, let's do something different. And, with this being this is not a carbon copy of The Rookie. This isn't. There are elements that they very much, utilize to keep the concept of a shared universe alive. But I never once looked at this as this is an exact clone of The Rookie. It's not. It really isn't. All these characters are different enough that they have their own identities, they have their own relationship, they have their own banter, that similar to The Rookie, it took me a little bit of a while to get into. I will say that the spirit is not the same, but definitely it makes its own spirit. And by the end of it, I was happy that I sat through 22 weeks of very, very fun television. It makes me really want to see more of these characters. So for me, it is well worth the binge. Was it worth week to week if I wasn't doing the show? That's a good question. I feel like this show had moments of I was very much in tune to see the next episode, but it wasn't I was at the edge of my seat for the next episode, if that makes sense. It's one of those weird things where you remember it's a new episode's coming out, you remember this is a very fun show, but it's not something I'm hyped over. It's not something that I'm excited over, oh my god, I can't wait till the next episode. I can't wait till the next week for it to come out. And to be fair, it's not that often anymore. Nowadays, I feel like it's very rare for me to be super excited in an episode of television again. And again, not to say that all the shows I review or even watch are bad. I'm just saying that it's very hard to get my excitement level up because I've seen so much of the content. I've seen so much, and so me measuring that bar definitely makes it more along the lines of, yeah, that's kind of where I'm setting it as right now. But going to kind of a story wise, this is a procedure, but so there isn't really like a set standard story. And also before I continue, I will not be spoiling anything about Rookie Feds at all. Only things I mentioned is general concepts that the rookie set it up on his backdoor pilot and its first episode. That's it. Anything beyond episode 1, I will not be touching. I'll be giving maybe vague examples or just the overall symbolism of what I'm trying to demonstrate, but no, I'm not touching anything. Everything beyond episode 1, I will not spoil or touch about whatsoever. So going into what I thought of just the overall premise of things, where this is what I mean, it's not a carbon copy of the Rookie person, but definitely does have similar feels. Where Rookie itself was about a middle-aged man that has gone through a divorce. His son left the coop. He's now up to college, and he's wondering, what is my next big thing? What is the next thing that I want to do with my life? And he decides to be a police officer after one day. This isn't it. We don't immediately get from the get-go of that is what the premise is here. When we kick off the show, obviously this being a backdoor pilot, we already got a little bit of that introduction back on the Rookie side of things the season before this premiered. So we already had a general idea of what our main titular character, Simone Clark, wanted to be in the FBI. So when we kind of begin the show, we're kind of off to the races, with her having finished Quantico. She's graduated, she's approved, she's going to be assigned to the LA division. So she's going to be closer to home, where it's a reversal of the Rookie, where in the Rookie, John left home to go to this brand new locale, and then Simone went to somewhere that was beyond home, and now she's coming back home. So it's kind of a little bit of a reversal here of you're just seeing two different peas in the pond, where one has never been in this environment and one hasn't been in this environment in so long. They've had whole lives beyond this place, and now they're jumping back into it, and it's a very different introduction, so to speak. And when Fed starts, it just gets going. Immediately starts to the races. Rookie was a little bit of a build. It was a little bit of build up in that first episode. We needed a little time before we really start blaring with the action. Feds is right off the gate. We were just kicking off into the high gear. Mind you, it felt like episode 1 kind of could have been a 2-parter, or 2 episodes generally, but they paced it pretty well. It's smooth, fast, and it's getting you where you need to go with what the season starts with. Where on the Rookie side, which were they introducing, was that there's another agent called Garza, who has been a veteran in the FBI. He has a lot of leeway, but he is clamoring for a new method of doing business. The FBI has a kind of a procedural base, no pun intended, of how they solve their cases, how do they save the day, kind of. But Garza's okay, but crime is evolving, methods are changing, things you read in textbooks aren't exactly how they are anymore. There's new technology, there's new behaviors, new sinister masterminds, and so you kind of need a new breed, some out of the box thinkers. That's what Garza wanted, and that's kind of what they teed up back in the Rookie backdoor pilot episodes, and here as well. He wants to form a team of people that have the possibility to be out of the box, kind of think in another way, the underdogs, people that really wouldn't get the limelight to really shine at times, and, give them their own avenue to kind of run things. So that's kind of where Simone arrived. Not entirely at first. It is a little bit of a learning curve for Simone, but eventually she does get plays on this new team, filled with, people that she will eventually come to know as family. No pun intended there with Fast. And that's really kind of how things begin. We have her personal training agent. We have her best friend. We have his training agent, and of course you got the Garza, which I'm this man is so funny. But I'll get to more about that in the character section. But as well as, again, like I said before, it's about putting these characters in new environments. Simone coming home, and with the other characters such as Brendan, which is the other new Rookie agent for the show, him kind of going into this new avenue of life, his training agent becoming more of in this new avenue, this new outlook on life after events have happened, and the Simone's TA, who has been in this ever-changing cycle of life that's about to go for a new change. How does he adjust, or how do you keep adjusting to that factor? And definitely for the case of being of there isn't really much of there's there's not really a set schedule in mind that they do to kind of progress the rookies for a storyline. definitely there is obviously like, real guidelines that, real FBI agents have to follow. But generally speaking, like, no, they're kind of doing their own thing. They're establishing their own mini lore, their own tropes, their own, cast of characters. And yeah, but that's kind of how it gets going. And, I think another underlying theme that you see is, Simone trying to reconnect with her dad because her and her dad had kind of this like more recent estranged relationship with Simone making the decision to finally join the FBI after her kids went off to college, so late in the game. Like, definitely it is a cause for concern for her dad because, he doesn't really like the feds so much. He doesn't really like law enforcement enough because of what they did to him. And definitely that is something that is felt in every episode, whether you like it or not. But going to the characters, specifically, Simone Clark, I had no idea who Niecy Nash was before I started the show, and I was like, I'm a big fan of her now. I'm like, she's so cool. She's really, she knows how to lighten up a mood. She knows how to lighten up a scene, and it's like, this is a different contract. John Nolan was reserved at the time, very outspoken when he asked, and then you have Simone Clark, who just like, doesn't even need to be asked anything. She's already like bombastic. She's already like getting into the situation. She's already like making the quips, making the puns. I love it. I really love it. Loving getting it out of the gate right away from the first scene. Definitely sold me right away on it. But she is, despite, she is still like a mom, and she's wanting to be outspoken when she can, speaking up when something's wrong or something's not right, even though like she is like in her position of like she's still starting at her rapport with everyone around her. Like, definitely she's not afraid about that. She's not afraid to to not stand up and like speak about it, which I do respect for about her character. Oh, so much. I will admit that they go a little too far on certain avenues, a little bit. Not like in a bad way, but more like, like, okay, that we need to get to another one, or to really need another one. You understand when you start. You understand when you start. Then you have her best friend, her other fellow training probationary agent, Brendan, who is a former Hollywood star, making this like very big life choice to switch from being a movie star to an FBI agent. It's quite a big turnaround change. It's quite a big turnaround change. I will say Brendan is the one I'm the most surprised at by the end of the day. He has a lot of layers to him. It definitely is like, always there's more to a character than, more than meets the eye, mind you, where like he's not just the chill bro who's like, trying to going through this, changing life. He's definitely adjusting, and like the adjustment period can get hard. It can be exhausting. It can be difficult at times. It's not for everyone. Especially once you get closer to like, the middle half of the season where like he's starting to admit more of like his faults from his past and, how much he screwed up so much that he just want this to be the second chance he hopes he gets. And, I can definitely appreciate that out of him. I think we all would want one of that at some point. Going to his training agent specifically with Laura, who's also going for her own change in life. Definitely similar. Like, this was like really good pairing. Where like they're both in the middle of like this life change, and like they're trying to figure out, is this the right decision? Is this the right call that I should do? And even though she's supposed to be this well-kept agent, it is something that, like, internally she is dealing with, at least at the start, where, like, she knows she's good at what she's doing, but is she's making the right decision? That's a different question. You can be great at something, but is it the right decision to pursue that, for yourself? That's always, like, just the question of the day to keep that in check. Then you have Carter, who is Simone's training officer, and definitely it's much like of the battle of, like, the old-fashioned way and the new-fashioned way. And I'm not to say he doesn't have his own problems as well, but definitely he is more reserved. He tries to like keep things professional at times, try to keep his private life into check. But sadly, when you have a probationary agent like Simone, that the concept of privacy kind of goes out the window right away, so to speak. Carter took a little bit to grow on me. He did. He was like he just, I don't know, like he just took a while. Like it kind of felt a little bit like, what is the angle we're gonna go with this character? What are we going to go with this? And then eventually I'm like, okay, I know what you're trying to do. And I kind of, I can respect you about it. I can. And definitely with him, he's just like, I honestly grew to like him a little bit more often than I thought I would. Definitely he does have this like kind of like mini running gag throughout the show. And I'm like, oh God, I'm like, you need to go out to the woods, buddy, and find what you're looking for. And you know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about. And their higher leader, Garza, which... I got to respect the Latino representation. I love it so much. I really do. What can I say? Garza is kind of like the glue that keeps us together. He is like, the champion, like the one who's like really thinking about for everyone, really thinking about like, what is right for the situation they're in, which is always, great to enjoy and see. And just definitely, I just like, I just respect Garza way too much. I'm like, I just want to see more of this character. I really do. I will say they don't do much with him this season at all. He does have his own storyline in the first half, but like back half is mostly like just, the supporting role, which is still great. It's still great. It's just, I would want more, which is great. Like for me to like be asking for like, I want more than what you're providing me. And beyond that, like obviously you have your supplementary characters, but like the next one beyond the feds itself is Cutter, which is Simone's father. Cutter was a bit like, he's the lovable grandpa that you always want to have at intervals. It's not someone you quite want to see almost every scene. Mind you, he does have his own like really like deep story of his past, of how he became to be, how he's kind of like at odds with Simone at the beginning of the show, just because of like, what he had to endure, what he had to deal with. He doesn't wish for anyone to be a part of it, whether that's supporting or against. Mind you, I'm speaking of that. And for them, like, I will admit there was a bit of repetitiveness to his character. Like, almost every episode kind of has like almost the same layout for him. And it's not to say like, it's not fine with having consistency and like repeating stuff, but like, I just noticed there was a little bit too much of one certain like, direction they were trying to push in the first season. And I understand like, you want to be outspoken, you want to express what's on your mind, but it's kind of like, just getting a little bit annoying, like how much they were able to like repeat that same style over and over again. It doesn't take anything away from his character, but it definitely just gives me a little bit of a headache, if that makes it. Not in a super bad way, just like in like an annoying way, if that makes any like a sense. Adhering to the larger rookie universe, as I said before, this show definitely took advantage a lot of their, their parenthood. Definitely there was a lot of borrowing characters from the rookie side of things, trying to benefit a lot of locales. They reuse. It was kind of a little bad, like when I did this a couple nights ago, where they didn't really like the rookie didn't get that much use of the feds squad as often than the rookie feds would do it for themselves. It was a bit disappointing a little bit, but like, like you got to play the cards you can get there. And like, definitely the younger sibling wants to get as much resources as they can. Like they're older. So that was something like, okay, you know what? I give them a pass on that. What I will not give them a pass on is the crossover aspect. Because obviously when you have two shared shows in the same universe, obviously the idea of crossover is going to pop in and seeing how that's going to pitch out. Sad to say, I never really once thought that any of the rookie crossover, like on the crossover skill, was like, this is amazing, this is perfect. I never thought of that, sadly. I still thought they were all like good or great. It's just like something about like, the idea of like, when you say crossovers, like it fills me up with joy. And like, those crossovers, like they didn't like get me on that level of joy. Not to say those episodes were bad, but I'm just saying like the overall pitch of like, this is a crossover episode does not come through. Very well speaking. It does not. But regardless, that doesn't hurt anything from the show, because again, like, they're still trying to establish their own footing on the ground with like their own fan base, and of course, like, obviously respecting their fellow peer and like, their fellow, older kin, and trying to like, take the name the rookie feds like, seriously, and trying to like do their own spin on it, which in my opinion, I do admit they did agree. They met that at all fronts. And I was very happy by the end of the first season. I was very happy that, like, you pulled it off. You did a whole season of television without, like, dipping in quality too much. There was a couple dips, not too much, but definitely there were some moments where I'm like, okay, we didn't need that line, or okay, was this the right avenue to take? In my opinion, at least. Obviously, this is an opinionated thing. It's a review. This is my opinion, so to speak, in, of course, the non-spoiler fashion that I am presenting in it. But either way, I just feel like, despite like the little critiques I have, like, Feds was just really, really great. It really was, there's so much you can do when you have a great cast of characters. Your story can be amazing, but if your characters are like not engaging at all, I'm not going to tune in for that. Like, maybe I will for the completionist standpoint in me, but like definitely it isn't something that I'm going to clamor for week to week, or like, that I was trying to prevent my gauntlet from dropping because I actually kicked something and I'm like, it fell. Still, like, I tried. I very much tried. But in all quickness, I will say that, in terms of like, the messaging of like, you're never too late to try something new. It definitely is, a very powerful message in the rookie universe. It definitely continues onwards with this show, carrying that message, and and obviously putting yourself through that, as well as you can inspire change, no matter what the cost is, no matter what you have to do to do it on the right side of things. That's what I really appreciated throughout the entire run of the Rookie Fed so far. Hopefully there will be more to tell, but for now, this was just a very enjoyable first season. Hopefully there's more to come, but for now, it's just, again, another great TV show that hopefully will go on for years to come. Hopefully. Let this writer strike end, please. Please, ladies and gentlemen, let's let this end. With my case, I would recommend it to, anyone that wants, a new binge, anything to watch right now. Rookie Feds, it's great. It's a great, fun show. And you will not be disappointed by the concept of it, and you will definitely feel like the characters are just one big happy family, which is not that easy to sell on television. It really isn't. But let me in the comments below if you have seen the Rookie Feds. What did you think of the first season? Do you hope for more? What did you think? Do you love the season? Do you hate it? Let me know. Let's have a conversation below, because I love to. But I believe that's going to do it for me today, everyone. So if you're unaware, this has been What's the Two from ActionX, reviewing the Rookie Feds Season 1. Which again you can only find on Hulu right now. All the episodes are live right now. But again, if you want to know what we're also doing on What's the Tube, currently right now we're doing Walker reviews each and every week. And yeah, that's kind of all this said and done. But if you don't care about the Rookie Fed, sadly for now, we're in this big question mark. But if we do return, we'll return bright and early next year. So still a little ways away to return back to this universe that we all love so much, but it's gonna be a while. It's gonna be a little bit of a while, so stay tuned. But again, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't yet. Like, favorite, share if you want to. Ring the bell and follow us on social media. But until we see each other again, for all you Feds out there, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the support. But until we see each other again, stay safe out there. Be good to each other. And as always, peace out.